Welcome back to our run of Ostranauts. We're going to work on our ship for a little bit in preparation for casting off and getting to work as a ship breaker, scrapper, whatever you want to call it. Ne'er do well. So, picking up right where we left off, the end of part 4. My coordinate tools right here. No, they're not. I left them in my toolbox laying elsewhere. So we need to go back and fetch those. Little misclick there. Emporium. That's where we really wanted to go. I believe they're right here. Yeah. Okay. So one of these is important. That's it. The other less so. But we could pop them in this crate along with some other miscellaneous stuff. Might be useful. And that takes us to the max on aluminum. That takes us to the max on small mech parts. And we're going to head back to the port. We don't want to go out the airlock without going through our little airlock procedure. And that's pretty simplistic right this moment, but will be less so. And we're just going to put ourselves on auto task. Start patching shit. So I'm actually repairing that wall instead of replacing it. Hopefully I've got enough stuff accumulated. If it goes back through the, if I go back through the airlock, I'm gonna hit pause and go ahead and get that crate out here. Okay. All that stuff piled up previously is. It actually would have gotten it even if we hadn't, as long as we had unlocked those doors. Grab screwdriver. Why did, oh, because the powered screwdriver doesn't have a battery. So we need to go ahead and fix that because that'll get our repair rate up considerably. Yeah, see, no battery. So I'm just going to abandon that. Task should automatically suspend there and leave this crate sitting right here. But I'm going to grab one of these. And, we're going to go visit this kiosk here. Now we managed to do all that without going off. And we're starting to get hungry. So while we got our helmet off anyway, let's go ahead and have a little snack. And we're actually a little stuffed now. Now, what we need is two of these batteries, not because we have two screwdrivers, but because we want one for the charger and one for the tool we're using. And then we've got one of these batteries. Actually, may have two already, but we need one of these, the Halverson and the GOT charger, which are relatively cheap, definitely. Now, taking our clothes off in the corridor. There's the second GOT battery. Battery there. Let's check in our other toolbox. Nothing in there. Here's our second GOT battery. Okay. almost died. Put that helmet on. And I use this exact same layout for the small parts all the time so that I can, at a glance, know what I have of any given thing. So the metals are in order from lightest, the carbon fiber, to aluminum, to steel, small electronics, and small mechanic. Then clean scrap cloth will go here. Dirty, if for some reason we have that, will go up here. I'd like these two guys to be carried around with me. Nothing here is actually important for now. Make sure I got the right one. Yeah. So this one has battery in it, as does this one. Okay. So it actually doesn't matter. Just took out my pressure suit outside. Bad move. Okay. I'm gonna go back in and grab the couple things we didn't have room in our inventory for. We'll check to make sure we actually have room in our inventory this time. Take your helmet off. Need a Halverson battery. It is really easy to do that. And a GOT charger. Also would really like to have this night torch. It replaces a lot of the other tools and helps you get things done a lot faster. It's apparently set down the wrong crate. Hopefully I will not die by remembering to put on my helmet here. Yeah. Let's double check and make sure we've got the right crate this time. Yes. All right. Gonna just slap the auto task on. Of course, he immediately goes inside. Or the hacksaw. All right, so let's solve that problem real quick. It's the better tool. Is this angle grinder. Because I'm heartless, I ignore the person begging for money. Give ourselves a little bit more around here. Okay. And let's try the auto task again. Sweet. Now we're going to speed this up a little bit, but we keep an eye on what's going on. Turning the damage visualization on. And all we really have to do is worry about, do we have enough oxygen in our suit, which we're going to need to refresh periodically by heading back inside. So as you can see, it will work for some time, but it's not forever. It's telling us down here what we're working on at this moment, floor. It does slow time down when we hit the alarm there, which is nice. So we don't asphyxiate before we hit the pause button. need to go on inside and turn that alarm off. So we're sitting in here in the station. Every time somebody docks with the station or leaves the station, it sets that off and slows down time, which is really just annoying. So it's getting some of that carefully hoarded small bits to the floor here. Fix that patch. This is why we very much want that feather suit, because we have a nearly unlimited time out in the vacuum, especially if we carry an extra set of oxygen and battery and CO2 filter. All right, let's see how things look here. Definitely want to go ahead and let's restore the battery because that means we'll be able to get the maximum amount of power. See our progress happening right over here. Or the thruster as well, because it'd be really bad if that failed on us, as in we're all gonna die. In general, you don't want to let it get too low in the green part of the bar here because Once it gets into the red, it's going to start throwing off parts, may or may not be recoverable. Issue here because I didn't immediately get back inside, which should resolve itself in a moment. Yes. So thruster is done. I'm going to do the same with the intake regulator. And one of the reasons why we want to restore the nitrogen can is again to allow us to get the maximum amount of storage in there with the least likelihood of the can actually failing catastrophically. Intake. Working on that. I'm going to jump in here and pay our mortgage. Fix our air supply. You're old enough to remember that band. You're old. My main goal right now is just to get all the basic mechanical things operating well. We can worry about the hull itself and the floor, the walls, the conduits, while we're in flight or after we've got a better operating spacesuit that allows us to spend more time out here. Depending on what sort of ship we find, we might be able to add some more to our little outdoor deck here so that we've got more room to haul things back. Restore the floor. Do want to get that canister maxed out so we can safely get as much oxygen as possible in there. Okay. Now we're gonna grab a couple things real quick. We want an air pump so we can get nitrogen going into our atmosphere as well. And one of these floor gratings right here. Don't actually see the one I need. I really don't like making a Frankenstein ship, but it almost invariably happens a little bit at first. May just move one to make things rather than buying one that's not a match. What I need is the 97, which looks more like a grating, but it's basically just related to this one right here. Carbon fiber is cheap. You need it. So I'm just going to grab it real quick. Thank you, Mr. Otto. Now, supply my kiosk is a popular place to hang. Don't have enough money, but I really like one of these because they're like the crates, they're bigger inside than outside. You can't put the crates in them, but you can put just about anything else, including the backpacks in them. Speaking of which, kind of blew right past the backpack still. There is an air pump. It's a little pricey, but I think I'm going to go ahead and grab it. But, I can't afford it and the N2 canister, so I'm just going to skip that for now and operate on pure oxygen. However, because they're so cheap and I can just leave them laying around the station, I'm going to go grab those. And still have enough money to grab it. Well, a little margin for error. So. This is a much better quality bed once we patch it up than the one we had back at our cabin. So we're going to do some small repairs on them real quick, just to get them out of the red so they don't continue to deteriorate. Right, I need clean cloth, which I don't think was actually available at the kiosk. And I apparently haven't run across any either. Scrap cloth like new. Notice I actually automatically start walking back over there because I've already set up these repair jobs. I now have what I need to get them done. Also some aluminum, mechanical parts, carbon fiber, lots of cloth. How much cloth I got left after that? I got 3 out of that 8. Actually, I don't even have that anymore. So I've done the repair. Now I'm going to do at least some of the restore. But at least I've got it to the point where it won't instantly fall apart again. Let's go about halfway. Maybe on the other one will go all the way so I can sell it. Another minute here, and we'll be able to walk over to the license kiosk, turn this in for a chunk of change. Remember, we paid less than $400 for this, so anything above 1,000 should be gravy. I'm just going to go ahead and patch this one too. This is basically what we're going to do once we're out in the boneyard. We're going to find valuable things. We're going to restore them to like new condition. We're going to come back and unload them. Anything we can get the fixer to buy, we'll have them buy because they're always going to pay us a little more than the official license kiosk. Anything else, then we're going to sell at the regular license kiosk. Now, normally, and I haven't tried this yet, we would mark out a trade zone for these areas in our ship. It's basically the bridge. Eventually that'll be much larger, hopefully. And here's our cargo deck. Expand that a little bit. I'm going to just go ahead and add this area in because I got a feeling that we're going to be rearranging that shortly. There, it's wall. Good for is any other. That's a wall. These have floors, so those can really count as cargo area. This is a wall, so it cannot. So we're going to just hit C and click that to cancel that one. We've got our zone. Let's see if we can add one here. There is a solve for it if we can't, which is to physically carry the items, but that's a real pain in the ass. Say we can barter in all of these. And let's just double check because I got out of that in an unorthodox way. I think that's see that. Change the color. Yeah. Now, I don't know that I'm going to actually sell them here because I want to double check with the fixer. I do want to check our zones. So the only one that actually worked was the deck. This, 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 this. Slow cache. This is the crate that we're actually carrying. The tote. Okay. So let's double check this. This is the workaround since the zones aren't actually working out here in away from the ship. So I get $1,350 for something I paid just under $350 for. Probably not worth the time we just wasted doing it. I do kind of want to walk over and since using the transit, it's not horribly far to the fixer and see what they say. This is one of the things we would love to find out in the boneyard. He's not really paying any more for the bulk than the light kiosk. I'll sell it here so I don't have to tote it back. Well, that's really it. So with that, we're basically ready to get on out there, start living our best life. Which we're going to do in the next episode. Check back soon for part 6. I hope you've enjoyed part 5. I certainly did. Have a good day.